Good afternoon, girls. Today we are going to see the next unit number 4. In this unit, we have two fictions. So, this is the first fiction we are going to see right from today. So far, I taught you 3 units. So, from today onwards, I am going to start the 4th unit. The first fiction, George Eliot, written, very wonderful fiction work, The Mill on the Floss. This is the name of the fiction which we are going to see for the upcoming days. So girls, The Mill on the Floss. You know what is mill? Mill. Mill in the sense, it is a factory. They have the mill has large number of employees and they'll produce some sort of things in the mill. And girls, floss, mill on the floss. Floss is the name of the river and the mill lies on the river of the Floss. Okay, so this is the name of the fiction we are going to see, and this fiction was written by George Eliot. So let us see about George Eliot today. Mary Ann Evans is the real name of George Eliot, and George Eliot is the pen name. Was born on, she writer, female writer. As we are seeing Victorian literature, she also comes from the Victorian era. So she was born on 22nd November 1819 and he lived up to 1880, up to December 22nd. Okay girls. Then alternatively, she is called as Mary Ann and Marian. But she was known by pen name George Eliot. She was known by her pen name George Eliot. Was an English novelist. She was an English novelist as well as a poet, journalist, translator, and one of the leading writers of the Victorian era. She stands for the leading writers list. She was a very good novelist, poet, journalist, translator, and so on. As I told you already, she is one of the most leading writers of the Victorian era. See girls, she wrote totally 7 novels. Here comes Adam Bede, the year 1859, The Mill on the Floss in the year 1860, and Silas Marner in the year 1861, Romola in the year 1862 to 1863, Felix Holt, the Radical in the year 1866, Middlemarch in the year 1871 to 1872, and Daniel Deronda in the year 1876, which are the most very famous novels in England, and it shows the reality and psychological insight. These 7 novels are very famous novels of George Eliot. Here you can see the portrait of Eliot, which was painted in the year 1846. Okay. She looks very young. Her full name is Mary Annie Evans. Was the full name. Born on 22nd November 1819. She was born in England, United Kingdom, and she died at the age of 61 in same London. In the England she died, and she stayed in Highgate Cemetery, London. Her pen name was Georgette Eliot. Her occupation: novelist, poet, journalist and translator. Everything relates to the literature. Her period: Victorian period. Notable works, ma. Already I told you in the 7 important works of novel works of T.S. Eliot. George Eliot. The same thing was repeated, and her spouse, husband, John Cross. Partner, George Henry Lewis. So girls, this is a short intro about George Eliot. Although female authors were published under their own names during her lifetime, she wanted to escape the stereotype of women's writing being limited to light-hearted romances. See, most of the female writers, they publish under their own name, but she don't want to write in her own name because she want to write with the romantic, or she want to write in the type of light-hearted romances. So she started to write under her pen name George Eliot. She also wanted to have her fiction judged separately from her already extensive and widely known work as an editor and critic. She was also called as a very good editor and critic. Okay, next, why she wrote all her works under pen name? Because she wants privacy. She wants privacy, and she would private life from public. Because of that only, she started to avoid writing in her own name. So she wrote under her pen name George Eliot. George is her name of her husband. Okay, she married George Henry Lewis. Okay, girls. She is considered as the greatest novelist in the English language, and her 2 novels, Martin Amis and Julian Barnes, are the very famous works of George Eliot. These 2 novels considered as the greatest novels in the English language. What are the 2 greatest novels in the English language? One is Martin Amis and another one is Julian Barnes. These are the 2 novels, greatest novel in the English language. Okay, see, her full name Mary Ann Evans, was born in Nuneaton, Warwickshire, England. She was the 3rd child of Robert Evans. Her father, Robert Evans, she was the 3rd child in the family. Okay. Her mother name Christina Evans. Kindly take down the years of his father as well as his mother. His mother, the mother of George Eliot, Christina Evans, She was the daughter of a local mill owner. Her mother was the daughter of a local mill owner. So she wanted to write about the mill. This make her to write about the mill stories. Okay. She was a very vocarious. Vocarious means different reader and obviously intelligent. She was obviously intelligent girl, but she was not physically beauty. She was not that much attractive to attract others. She was not taught to have much chance of marriage because she is not that much attractive by her physical. So that made her father to invest in her education. So this lead her father to invest in an education not offered women. So from that point she afforded in the education. From 5 to 9 years she boarded with her sister Chrissy at Miss Latham School. Again from 9 years to 13 years in at Mrs. Valentin School. Again from 13 to 16 years at Miss Franklin School. She was taught by Evangelical Maria Lewis, and she started to studying very many religious atmosphere. She was very quiet and disciplined student when she was in her school. She was very quiet and disciplined. After 16 years, she had little formal education. After that, she started to study with the self-education, and she went up to the breadth of learning. She started to learn by herself, and she know Greek. Her themes are often influenced by Greek tragedy. When she was young, she used to keep on visit her mother estate to see how the people live on the landowner's estate. She was very religious. The year 1836, her mother died. She was 16 years on the time. So she acted as housekeeper. But she continued correspondence with her tutor, Maria Lewis. She was under Maria Lewis. Though she was a housekeeper, she started to continue her education. When she was 16 years old, she lost her mother. And when she was 21 years old, her brother Isaac married and took over the family home. So after her brother got married, she left the house with her father and settled near Falls Hill near Coventry. Coventry is the name of the place, ma. There, there she became very famous, and there she became one of the popular figure. She started to write. She started to write there. So her first major literary work was an English translation of Stardust, The Life of Jesus, in the year 1846. This was her first work. Next, she wrote another work, The Essence of Christianity. The Essence of Christianity, in the year 1854. Okay. She was very religious, as I told you earlier. After her father's death, she moved to Switzerland. There she stayed. She got relationship with George Lewis. Here the new portrait of George Eliot by Samuel Johnson in the year 1860. She was not that much attractive. Her husband was already married. Okay. They went to Germany. The trip to Germany also served as a honeymoon for both of them. After the death of her husband, she changed her name, Mary Ann Evans Lewis. She was a very good writer. In the year 1857, when she was 37 years old, she wrote this work, The Sad Fortunes of the Reverend Amos Barton. This was the work she wrote after her husband's death. And her first work, clubbed with 3 stories, included the scenes of clerical life. This was the first work of George Eliot, was published in a Black Hood magazine. Black Hood magazine, very famous magazine. And the scenes was published in 2 volumes of books in the year 1858. The Scenes is the name of the book, was written by George Eliot, and which was divided into 2 books. And her first novel to complete in the year 1859, Adam Bede. It was an instant success. Her private life was shocked and surprised to many leading readers as well as writers. In the year 1877, she was introduced to Queen Victoria's daughter, Princess Lucy. The Queen herself was an avid reader of the Eliot. The Queen's daughter was a regular reader of George Eliot, and she was so impressed with Adam Bede. Okay. During her period, American Civil War broke out. She showed her sympathy with the North. So girls, I hope this is enough. This is a symmetry of George Eliot. Okay. This is the house. This is the house of T.S. Eliot. George Eliot. It has become the museum and art gallery. Here comes the famous novels and poetries. Adam Beat, her famous novel in the year, as I told you earlier, 7 best novels. Adam Beat in the year 1859, A Mill on the Floss in the year 1860, Silas Marner in the year 1861, Romola in the year 1863, Felix Holt, The Radical, the year 1866, Middlemarch in the year 1871 to 1872, Daniel Deronda in the year 1876. These are the famous 7 novels of George Eliot. Okay girls, see here comes few poetries, famous poetries. Take it out any 5 or 6 more. In a London drawing room, the first poem in the year 1865, Two Lovers in the year 1866, Spanish Gypsy in the year 1868, Brother and Sister in the year 1869. Okay, a minor prophet, a minor prophet in the year 1874, a college breakfast party in the year 1879, the death of Moses in the year 1879, Count That Day Last. These are the very famous poems of George Eliot. And here we can see some more works. Query for Middlemarch. And as I told you, she was a translator. She translated Das Leben Jesu. It was divided into volumes. 3 months in Weimar, the year 1855. Silly Novels by Lady Novelist in the year 1856. The Natural History of German Life in the year 1856. These are the famous stories. As I told you, she wrote 3 true stories in single title. Scenes of Clerical Life in the year 1857. The Sad Fortunes of the Revenue, Amos Barton, Mr. Gilfil's Love Story, Janet Repentance. So these are the famous some other works of George Eliot ma. Okay girls. So next we can see some more. Her house ma. It has been now changed as museum and art gallery in England. It was in Riversley Park, home of collection on writer George Eliot. It looks very beautiful. It is in Foals Hill, Coventry. Her birthplace become landmark. Her birthplace become landmark. Even George Eliot School, Middlemarch Junior School, George Eliot Hospital, this all become very famous places, ma. She was buried. She was not buried in Westminster Abbey, ma. She was buried in Highgate Cemetery, East Highgate, London. It was reserved for the religious dissenters. She was buried with the nearby of Karl Marx Cemetery and her friend Herbert Spencer. And her cemetery has become memorial stone. She was died at the age of 61 in the year 1880. And I like to state that she got kidney disease and she also got throat infection. As she got throat infection, this coupled with kidney disease. Throat infection joined with the kidney disease, and she died at the age of 61. So girls, here I have explained you, I have told you about George Eliot. Introduction. She is the author for our new topic, Mill on the Floors. So girls, kindly go through the Mill on the Floors. It's a very beautiful story. Fictional work. Fiction means not real, imaginative story. So in this fiction we are going to see about two important characters that I will explain you tomorrow. So today you just go ahead with the introduction about George Eliot, and tomorrow I'll explain you about the story structure, characters, and so on. So girls, already I told you drama comes in the act wise. Fiction comes in the chapter wise. So we will be having chapter wise story, and fiction always stands with the books edition, number of books. So we have different books, we have chapter wise stories. So we will be seeing for the upcoming days. Okay, so girls, here I'll end. I request all the students to come to the men's college and pay your college fees as soon as possible, because you have to write your semester examination very soon. From tomorrow onwards, final years, outgone final years are going to write their theory papers. As such, girls, the same thing will be happen very soon. It is going to happen for you people. So don't be very lethargic, ma. Only half of your class students paid your fees as well as your exam fees. This is not very easy issue. This is issue of university. So kindly come and pay your college fee as well as exam fee. Then only you can able to write your semester examination without any problem. Okay, unless or until you pay your college fee, you cannot pay your exam fees. So pay as such. And one more information we got from the collector. Right from October month, our colleges are going to start. So kindly aware about it and take it this issue serious and then proceed over. Okay, girls. So, girls, stay home, stay safe, and go digital. Very soon, I'll be meeting you all in the classroom. Thank you. Bye bye.